Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. On this week's episode, we visit the Reuss Valley in Switzerland, which takes us over the Andermatt Pass, the Oberalps Pass, the Lukmanier Pass, and Furka Pass. That's Furka, not Furta, boys. Our ride also takes us through the Schollenen Gorge, home of the infamous Devil's Bridge. We also visit the Goscheneralp See Staudamm. That's a big high mountain dam. And Barry ingests 11,000-year-old bacteria at the Rhone Glacier. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Enjoy the episode. Thank you. All right, so the morning of day 3, we start off at the Boutique Hotel Schlüssel in Logano, Switzerland. And from the hotel, we head out through the Reuss Valley, which takes us over Andermatt Pass and onto the Furka Pass, and eventually winds up at the Rhone Glacier, which was our first stop, and I gotta admit, it was pretty cool. We got to go inside the glacier. So let's check that out. So the Reuss Valley was very pretty, very green, a lot of farms, small towns. But it was in the town of Zumdorf that we hit a little bit of construction traffic and had to alternate with oncoming traffic. So we'll just skip ahead. Furka Pass is the legendary Swiss mountain pass that gained fame after it was featured in a car chase scene in the James Bond movie Goldfinger from 1964. An Aston Martin DB5 and a Ford Mustang climbed this scenic driving road located in the Valais region of Switzerland, the Reuss Valley. More than 55 years later, the landscapes have remained pretty much the same. This is most certainly a road in the Alps that those in search of the best riding or driving roads in Europe should experience. For many people, it is considered a fave. In my opinion, you will experience the most fun if you are driving it from west to east, since this is where the tightest switchbacks are located. So we pulled over at a little parking area, Vista Scenic View location, and took some photos of the view and of each other. This is Gene. And this is Dan. And this is Kevin. Once we reached the bend where the now closed Hotel Belvedere still stands, we stopped to enjoy the scenery and made the short hike to walk inside the Rhone Glacier ice grotto. The view from the Rhone Glacier shows just how magnificent a road this is, but honestly, Furka Pass looks incredible from all angles, whether you're looking up from the valley, ready to start your engine and tackle the hairpin switchbacks up to Belvedere, or have reached it already and look down at the valley and the Rhone River. You know, obviously the switchbacks and the hairpin turns are a lot of fun, but so were passing the cars in the straighter parts of the road. You know, they know that bikes are going to pass them, that bikes are faster, and they accommodate you. So it's fun to pass them, and it's occasionally fun to pass each other too. Our next stop along the Furka Pass is the Rhone Glacier. This is a touristy kind of thing to do, but it was pretty cool. You might even see some die-hard skiers still hitting the slopes this late in the year. This was the end of June. An ice grotto is where they carve out a tunnel inside the glacier so that you can literally walk into the ice and experience what it's like to have 11,500-year-old ice all around you. Once you pay the entrance fee in the gift shop, you walk out a little path, short little walk, to the entrance of the ice grotto. You'll see the lake in the beginning of the glacier.
So now we are in the glacier. Oh, there's the clock. Yeah. That's supposed to keep it cold or something?
What?
Just rod.
I think it's a light.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a fluorescent light.
I guess that light was out. It got dark all of a sudden. Man, I hope it's supposed to get to the juicy first. Man, I hope my phone's waterproof. Hey guys, down there's a urinal. Urinal right there.
Is that where you drink? Where's your camera, dude? Oh, I got it.
I'll get by you. Let me get by you.
Get over, I can get the whole kitchen. Right
Hey, Marley and Taylor, check out Daddy. He got his tongue stuck. Alright, well, he didn't really get it stuck, girls. But who knows what he got on it when he licked that ice. In this next short clip, Paul asks the question, why is the ice blue? Dan and our tour guide Lucas debate two theories. You decide which one is correct.
Why is it blue?
Pressure. Done maybe because it hadn't had sex in a long time. Or he drank too much. No, ice gets blue under pressure. Because it's the density gets higher.
Yeah.
Density.
Density. That's right. Yeah.
Your hands are pretty. You got there's like
Look a picture.
Alright, so here are a few photos from our walk back up the hill through the gift shop and back to the bikes. The views from the gift shop of Furka Pass and the Rhone Glacier were amazing. We seem to take a lot of restroom photos on this trip. This is the men's room in the gift shop where this rock protruded through the wall into the restroom. Think what you will of my photographic curiosities. So after the glacier extravaganza, we continue on through Furka Pass. And yeah, it was fun. There were a lot of great roads through there. We continued back down through the valley that we had come back up through. Back through Andermatt again to the town of Göschenen, and then we kind of turned left and went up this great road, real tight, nice winds to where we had lunch at the dam, and then we came back into Göschenen, through the gorge, back to Andermatt, and then at Andermatt we made a left and went back up through another pass to the Oberalps Pass. Then we continued on through the Lukmanier Pass and then on to our hotel, the Continental Park Hotel in Logano, Switzerland. We spent 2 nights at this hotel, so I'll give you the lowdown on that hotel in next week's video. The road that continues out of Belvedere and onto the town of Rhône is also very scenic, with nice straights and of course a few more switchbacks. The altitude of Furka Pass is 2,429 meters above sea level, which makes it the 4th highest paved mountain pass in Switzerland. Because this region gets a lot of snow in the winter, the season for the road is not very long. It opens every year in June and usually closes again in October. In the winter, when the road is closed, you can transport your car by train in the Furka Base Tunnel, connecting Rialp and Oberwald. Although the Furka car train operates 365 days a year, I would highly urge you to forget about this option in the summer and ride the pass on 2 wheels, 4 wheels if you must. Either way, you will certainly enjoy the ride and the spectacular views, the lack of guardrails notwithstanding. The Schollenen Gorge lies between the towns of Göschenen to the north and Andermatt to the south. The gorge is the location of the infamous Devil's Bridge, and it provides access to the St. Gotthard Pass. The St. Gotthard Pass has been important to the region since medieval times. The Romans used the pass to gain access to northern and western Europe. Historical records show evidence of a footpath since the 1200s. Although it would seem that a footpath leaves too much to the imagination. The gorge has sheer granite walls, so to traverse the gorge, tradition describes a bridge and wooden pathway called ledgers that hung from the walls of the cliffs by chain. In 1595, a stone bridge was built that lasted until it collapsed in 1888. Legends say that the devil built this bridge, hence its name, Teufelsbrücke, or Devil's Bridge. A replacement bridge had already been built by 1830. That bridge was replaced by a third in 1958. It's safe to say we have it pretty easy today. The town of Göschenen is famous for what are called the Göschenen riots and for its train tunnel. The Gotthard Tunnel is a 15-kilometer long or 9.3 mile railway tunnel that forms the summit of the Gotthard Railway in Switzerland. It connects Göschenen with Oberalps and was the first tunnel through the St. Gotthard Massif or mountain range in order to bypass the St. Gotthard Pass. When it opened in 1882, the Gotthard Tunnel was the longest tunnel in the world. More train tunnel trivia. The tunnel was built from 1871 to 1881 and marked the first large-scale use of dynamite, which had been patented in 1867. Construction was supervised by a Swiss engineer named Louis Favre, who actually died inside the tunnel when he had a heart attack in 1879. Construction was difficult due to financial, technical, and geological issues, the latter of which led to the death of at least 200 workers, mainly due to water inrushes. Many were also killed by the compressed air-driven trains that carried excavated material out of the tunnel. There were also serious health issues caused by an epidemic of hookworm infection. The resulting medical investigations led to major advances in parasitology. The riot occurred because of these poor conditions, illnesses, and deaths. A strike of the workers in 1875 was crushed by the Swiss Army when they killed 4 miners and wounded 13. So now we're heading out the western side of Göschenen and through a valley. There's a lot of farms and some logging going on, but the road got pretty cool and also very narrow before we got to the dam where we're going to have lunch. Alright, that wind noise was just a little more than I could take. Sorry about that. But this road leading up to the dam was really some great riding. I mean, it wasn't the hairpin switchbacks of Furka Pass. More kind of a sweeping, tight turn. These little tunnels that we went through. And just beautiful scenery. Just the views couldn't be better. I really enjoyed this road. I just wish it maybe had been a little wider. Actual guide rails would not have been a bad idea either.
That's great. Lucas is checking for lunch.
Goats down there, sheep, just work their way up the little hill. There were a couple of days on the trip where the Edelweiss tour guides prepared a picnic lunch for us. This was one of them, where we just all kind of met top of this mountain at this dam. This is how they do dams in Switzerland. They dump dirt on it and grow grass and let the animals graze, instead of looking at ugly concrete. Nice. Let's get the spiel on the spiel. Alright, so here's my best translation of the German on this sign. It's titled The Little Bell of the Old Goscheneralp, which I think is a town. And it basically says that there was a town here before the dam and before the lake that had a chapel. And the chapel had this bell. And they didn't want to get rid of the bell when they had to demolish the town. So a company made 3 more bells, and those were moved to a new chapel down in the town of Göschenen. And so they kept the original bell here. The area is now used mostly for tourism and hiking. So as we leave Göschenen and go back up through the Gotthard Pass, I just can't, I'm just constantly astounded at how amazing this gorge is and how beautiful it is, but also how difficult it must have been all those centuries ago to traverse this pass, on foot or on horse, along the sides of these steep granite walls, just walking on a wooden plank suspended by chain from above. It just seems crazy. Alright, so have you ever wondered why Switzerland has traditionally been neutral in times of war? Well, here's a theory. The northern and southern Swiss Alps are separated by the trough formed by the Rhone and Upper Rhine valleys, the narrowest portion being the Urseren Valley, which lies between 2 massifs, the Gotthard and the Aari. It is in this area where the different mountain chains meet that the Alps' role as the European watershed is most apparent. It's here in the central alpine region of Switzerland that the Rhone River flows west, the Rhine River flows east, the Ticino River south to the Po River, and the Reuss River flows north. As I mentioned on the ride into Göschenen, the St. Gotthard route is the first and shortest north-south passage through these mountains, and people have been traveling this pass since the 13th century, and possibly even before that. So you've got an area with critical points of travel, rivers that originate and head off in multiple directions. It's as if the country is geographically destined to be the guardian of Europe's natural transalpine routes that link all of Europe. Alright, so we're now out of the Gotthard Pass, and we are in Andermatt, and we're turning left, basically going around the circle, but heading up to, we're going over the Andermatt Pass and then over the Oberalps Pass. Alright, so while we find ourselves waiting for this graffiti-free train to pass, let me tell you about the town that we find ourselves in. So, Andermatt, Switzerland, used to be a sleepy little ski village with kind of a soulful atmosphere, like the hippie days of Telluride before it was discovered by Hollywood. Andermatt had been hit hard economically when the Gotthard Tunnel rerouted railway tourists, and then the Swiss military, which had made Andermatt a big base of operations, suddenly pulled out in the 1990s. Andermatt consisted of a quaint, picturesque cobblestone main street flanked by timber chalets with a few antiquated lifts and not much else. And then one day, about 14 years ago, an Egyptian real estate tycoon flew over the region and saw an opportunity. Sami Sawiris saw a blank slate. He's invested over $1 billion, billion with a B. He built a luxury hotel, vacation apartments, private chalets, and an 18-hole Scottish-style golf course, as well as a revitalized and expanded ski area. The 5-star 169-room Shetty opened in 2013. The main dining room seats 250 people. There's a Michelin-starred Japanese restaurant, and Kev and Beth, listen to this. The hotel features a 6,000-bottle wine cellar, and the 2-story Furka suite goes for a mere $15,000 a night. And the skiing here is incredible, the best in the world. Sawiris spent $140 million to expand the ski area, and it shows. There's an 8-person gondola that takes skiers to the Göschenen peak, where there's intermediate slopes that take skiers to the 10-person gondola at the resort of Schöllenen. At Schöllenen, the skiing is far above the tree line, where you can ski fresh powder or ski lazily from village to village. What an experience that would be. Alright, so all that ski lore was great, but this is why we're here, the Oberalps Pass. Alright, so the Oberalps Pass leads from Andermatt through the Surselva region to Disentus. The Oberalp is the easiest pass to cross, which is why it was favored by the first settlers on their way to Andermatt. The gentle climb up from Andermatt to the summit of the pass at 2,046 meters above sea level offers some really spectacular views over the whole of the Ursern Valley and the Gemstock. The Matterhorn-Gotthard railway line also travels over the top of the pass. It is here that the Glacial Express Panorama train reaches the highest point on its journey from St. Moritz to Zermatt. The turquoise waters of Lake Oberalp make it hard not to linger a while. The top of the pass is also home to the only lighthouse in the Alps, and the highest in the world. The replica lighthouse stands as a symbol of the source of the Rhine, which is nearby. The original lighthouse is situated at the mouth of the Rhine near Rotterdam. At the top of the pass, we stopped for a bathroom break and to get some coffee or a drink and just take in the views. It was a pretty nice, relaxing stop. Enjoyed it. Alright, so as we leave Oberalps Pass on the Graubünden side, the road down is quite a bit more winding as it passes the little village of Chamut and then carries on to Schöllenen and to Disentus. I really wish that we were going up this side instead of down this side. You can check out the picture and then watch us ride down and it'd be clear to you. It would have been a great deal of fun to come back up it. So why do I say that it's more fun to come up than go down? Well, for anybody who really hasn't ridden a motorcycle much, when you come up, you can really get on the throttle and go faster because you have more confidence that you can stop when you get to the hairpin turn. Because the uphill grade slows the bike faster than if you're going downhill where you have momentum against you to get slowed down. So coming up's a lot more fun. You've got a lot more confidence. Alright, so the remainder of our afternoon consisted of roads that looked just like what you see now. We just kind of meandered through these high mountain villages and ski towns. Like when I was talking about Andermatt, I mentioned a few of them. Well, we go riding right through them. So I just kind of pieced together a few seconds of kind of each ski village, I guess. So check them out. They're all beautiful. Really gorgeous views. Clean. Just unbelievable. Notice the construction of these bridges. We go over several of them in the next few minutes. But they're just beautiful. I mean, it's just a small, simple bridge going over a small creek. But the stonework is amazing. Well, that's it for this week's episode, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next episode when we have gelato and we explore some small, quaint little villages in northern Italy. And remember, be in love with your life, every minute of it.